Hi YouTube and fellow Doctor Who fans. Today I am going to be reviewing the Patrick Troughton story, The Tomb of the Cybermen. Let me just focus on it for a minute. And as you can see, this is the special edition of the show. I will talk about the story first and actually do any recommendations and do the ratings. I'm just trying to get a bit, actually just a bit of structure in these videos. Okay, so the Doctor and his two companions, Jamie, which is an excellent companion and character, and I'm really loving his performances. And the newly received Victoria, which has just joined the TARDIS crew. I find her to be, well, she's okay. Her acting's not great, but I feel like she's going to be well received within fans, and she is going to be a very, very good companion to the Doctor. But as always, whenever there's a new companion that's actually joins the TARDIS, I find that I always have to watch their first episode to actually get used to them, whether it's Rose or Martha or even Donna. Okay, so the Doctor and his companions land on this planet, and at first they're not quite sure where they've landed. But they soon find a small expedition team blowing up sides of these mountains and actually trying to find something, but we're not really sure about what they're trying to find at this point in the story until they uncover a set of these big mysterious metal doors which have these strange carvings and drawings of Cybermen on them. And at this point the Doctor doesn't know why these people are blowing stuff up and what they're trying to find until they tell him and his companions that they are trying to find the Cybermen, because the Cybermen have been out of action for 500 years and no one has seen them, no one knows where they are, and they are thought to be long dead, and no one knows what's happened to them. But this expedition team have gone out and they basically want to know where they've gone, and they want to study them. And this prospect scares the Doctor to his core, but he decides to go along with it, and in a way he does help them for unknown reasons, but secretly he wants to know why they are doing this and what their intentions are, and he just wants to be like a fly on the wall and just observe them. This is a very, very, very good story with Patrick Troughton. I watched him in the War Games, and in this episode he is better in this than in the War Games, which I find extremely difficult to actually comprehend even now, but he is good. The reason why that is because no one on this expedition team know what's going on. They've got all this scientific equipment and that they found inside this tomb, and no one knows what it does or how it works. And the Doctor says, "Oh yes, you actually press that button and then it opens that door. You can actually pull all these levers and it turns this computer on and it opens a hatch." And it's really good how he does it. He's actually really, really clever and smart in this. Also, this has actually got a very, very good scene of him talking to Victoria about his family and the TARDIS, and it only lasts for about 5 minutes, but is a really, really, really good classic scene. So as time goes on, we discover that there's a member of this expedition crew that secretly intends to release the Cybermen and to basically have them under his control. He wants to lead them. He wants to rule the world. He wants to use them to his own evil purposes, which doesn't go according to his plan, but he actually proceeds. So I mean, as time goes on, the Doctor and this expedition crew find this big frozen room, and they find all these different pods within the wall, and in it they have all these frozen Cybermen. So we know at this point that the Cybermen have actually been frozen, and that's why they haven't been seen. But all hell breaks loose when this member of this expedition team unfreezes them and sets them free. I think that's as far as I will go with this story. It is a very, very good story. It really is. It's one of my, probably in my top 10 of Doctor Who episodes ever, and that's including the stuff that's out now. Okay, so I will be talking about the cover. I mean the case itself. On the front of it, it has, let me just focus a little bit. It has a picture of the Doctor and a couple of Cybermen. And I mean, also at the back, it has all these different pods that the Cybermen are sleeping in. And at the bottom, these things here, let me try to focus a little bit more. I can't. But I mean, these things, they're kind of like little insect Cybermen, but they're called Cybermats. They are really funny in this story. They don't intimidate, they don't scare you as much as the Cybermen. This is the first Cyberman story that I've seen in the classic series, and I prefer them in this series than in the show as it stands now. I mentioned that I mean, this is a special edition, and on the back it has a little synopsis and a list of all the special features, which are amazing. It is a 2-disc, as I mentioned before. The first disc holds the episode, which comes in 4 parts, so you can watch it in one day, and they've all got excellent they've all got excellent artwork on them. This too, unfortunately, is in my DVD player, and I forgot to get it out for this review, but it contains the special features, as you can think. They have really, really good bonus features on both these discs, actually, and they've got some really good documentaries about the Cybermen themselves. I just want to point out that in this story there is a character called Cyberman, which is a when this story was actually being produced, there was some there was some concern that this character was actually portrayed in a racist way, because he is the only black character in this movie, in this TV series. But I personally didn't feel that the story was being racist in any way. I felt that the character of Cyberman was very, very well produced and actually portrayed. And it wasn't racist whatsoever. I just wanted to mention that. I would strongly recommend this to anyone. It's a really, really good story. I would strongly recommend that. You go out and buy this now. I got this in a box set, which I'm going to be showing you in a minute, or in one of my later reviews. But yeah, I strongly actually recommend that you actually go and buy this now. I'm not quite sure whether you can buy the special edition by itself, or whether you've got to buy the box set. But yeah, I would strongly recommend you actually go and buy this now, whether it's the special edition or whether it's the original. And the rating I would actually give this is probably 7 out of 10. Yeah, I think that's a fairly good actually rating for it. Next week for, I mean, yeah, on Monday I'm going to be reviewing my Star Trek reviews, back to them, and because it's going to be the Wrath of Khan and that I'm actually going to be reviewing, I thought that I would do it in a two-parter. So I'm going to be reviewing the original episode that Khan first started out in the first season of Star Trek, the original series, which is called Space Seed, and this is the first time that we actually see Khan. So I thought that would be a nice bonus for people that haven't seen the movie and haven't even seen the original series, come to that. So I will do that sometime next week. I'll probably be watching it over the weekend and posting it on Monday. So I will see you guys next week. So if you have any comments or any feedback, as always, I'm more than welcome to hear it. And if you have any recommendations that you would like me to review, whether it's a Doctor Who series story, whether it's a classic story, or whether it's a story in the show as it stands now, or any Star Trek episodes, I'll be more than happy to talk about it. So I'll see you guys next week.